experience, okay, people? So this is going to be either hateful or my experience armor hunting in the Mega Man X series and why it progressively became harder and harder and harder for me to deal with collecting the armors throughout all of the Mega Man X games. And we're going to start with the first game, obviously. Okay. So, this armor hunting, or armor piece hunting, started with the very first Mega Man X game. Now, this stuff has started happening since probably like the first game, ever since I've been collecting armors for the very first time. And I want to like go through like my history with each of the armors and why I progressively like love the idea at first, but then really started to hate the idea that I wanted anything to do with the Mega Man X armor pieces in terms of playing X in Mega Man X games. So we're going to start with the first X game and then I'm going to go down. So, anyways. So, in Mega Man X1, whenever we first start the series, obviously you're not going to know like where the armor pieces are and stuff. But I want to talk about how X1 kind of brilliantly introduces like the armor. You go through Chill Penguin stage here, right? And you're just running. You're thinking, oh yeah, okay, this is like classic Mega Man. You know, I'm running, I'm jumping, I'm also shooting enemies down, okay? And then we also have a little bit more story. That's cool, right? So what makes this new Mega Man so special, so much better than the other Mega Man? Well, we're gonna tell you, right? When we get up past this point, which it's my video, so it's gonna take an eon to get up there, right? You find, after a bit in Chill Penguin stage, you find the first capsule. Now, what does this first capsule do for us in a Mega Man game? I will honestly say this, right? In Mega Man X1, when I first collected the boots so I can dash faster, I thought it was one of the coolest things on the planet. Matter of fact, I would argue like X1's armor, when I first got all the pieces, I remember I found them all, like in my first playthrough, not by chance, but I found them by not only looking it up, but it actually stuck in my head where all the armor pieces are. Now, in another reality, we'll meet again on the other side. Oh my god. But Lucas, I'm doing good to answer your question. I'm just trying to really focus on the video and keep it rolling, right? Keep my points going. So, when I first, again, like I said, when I played Mega Man X, right? I enjoyed collecting the armors in the first game because all the locations were not that bad, in my opinion, in terms of like, okay, where are the armors at? How can I get them? All that other sort of stuff. The only one I'd probably say is pretty bad in Mega Man X that can be bad is probably one we're going to mention here in a sec. Right? But you're sitting there in Chill Penguin stage. Okay, I got the boots by just going through the stage, right? Now, when we get through like Storm Eagle and stuff with like the life up and all that other sort of shit, it may not be that bad, right? But I'm telling you, once we get to that helmet upgrade and try to find where it is by like, you know, breaking the little flame things on to the side and stuff, you know, I was like, okay, bet, got the helmet upgrade too. I remember like progressively through X1, it felt awesome getting items and upgrades and all that other nitty gritty. It's actually right here, but you get it. Like another flame shit that's pretty hard to get to. But you're like, okay, I got the helmet upgrade. Now I can bash like certain bricks and all that stuff, right? Yeah, but I would say like Flame Mammoth is probably the one that kind of started to bother me because obviously you have to use your head, hit the bricks in order to get up there by doing a hard ass like wall jump. And I remember it took me like 3 to 4 tries to get this, right? This was probably the only upgrade in probably X1 that like really rubbed me like the wrong way. That really got me going like, this should have been better in my opinion, but I get it. They want to make at least one of the upgrades hard. It makes sense. I understand, you know, how it goes, you know, with the armor and stuff, with the, all that shit. I can't remember which stage it was. I think it was Boomer Kerwanger. I could be wrong, but let me see my chapters, because I kind of forgot where the chest upgrade it was. Oh, yeah, Sting Chameleon, right? But you get my point, right? X1, in terms of its armor, was one of the funnest armor grabs in the entire series. I would argue still the funnest way to grab the armors in the series for me, because this is where I didn't have a mindset of like I kind of do now when I played the later X games in the series and all that other sort of stuff, right? It started off strong. Like, I'm like, okay, if the X armors are going to continue to be on this energy, like, not the worst thing to grab, not like the hardest thing to find or ridiculous to find, they're actually hidden pretty well, and I actually appreciate Mega Man X1's secrets to try to find the armor to help X become stronger. This was legit freaking cool, right? And then Mega Man X2, I think, like, continues it in a way, but I think a part of me was like, I think it was like X2 onwards where I really started to like sort of feel, but like not feel at the same time where like all the armor upgrades are, because you're wondering, okay, where is my first upgrade? You know, where's the boots? You know, we're gonna do this again. The boots, we gotta find the boot upgrade. So I backtracked to Overdrive Ostrich stage for a little bit, and this is probably one of the reasons why I stopped liking the armor pieces, but in a lot of stages, depending on how well you play as well, you have to backtrack for the armor, right? For some players, especially pro players, like the armor pieces may not be a problem for them because, you know, they played the game in and out hundreds upon hundreds of times. So they know, like, where, you know, where the armor is, where the layout is for a lot of these armors. But for someone like me that is coming into the Mega Man series, it's like many years later. Actually, I've been a Mega Man fan for a couple years now, probably like 2, 3, 4 years. So I don't have like the decades-long experience with each Mega Man X game to kind of get in my head, okay, the armor pieces are here, the armor pieces are there. And I just remember as we're going back through the series, the more and more I go back and play the games over and over and over again, it starts to bother me more and more that I have to continuously backtrack throughout each and every single Mega Man X game to some extent to find the armor pieces. And some of these armor pieces, in my opinion, especially Mega Man X3, when you need to try to find I think the body upgrade in Morthma stage, where you have to like use the buzzsaw cutter in a specific spot to find it, which that's kind of cryptic level design right there. I ain't even gonna lie, that did not age well in my opinion. But it's like, imagine you, and everyone might feel different to this, and I'm not expecting anyone to feel like, you know, the same as me. This is like just like a me thing. It might just be a me thing, and every other Mega Man fan is fucking cool with collecting the armors. But I wasn't even cool with collecting the armor pieces for Rush and Mega Man 7, like the Super Nintendo Mega Man 7, okay? Like classic series, okay? Because this is how I am, right? I like a lot of my things, / a lot of things that I do in my Mega Man games to be very simple in approach, you know. I don't like going out of my way and collecting too many things, right? The only things I like doing in my Mega Man games is, you know, obviously starting the game with the order, like the weakness order, you know, maybe finding an E-tank here and there in the stages by going a certain path. That's it. I get to the boss, I beat him, boom, done, bada bing, rinse and repeat. That's what I love in my Mega Man games, right? And Mega Man X is like that, but there's so much more you gotta do. Like, for example, when you play, like, Zero, for example, right? You don't have to worry about finding armor pieces, right? It's only specifically Mega Man X. Every single Mega Man X game, he has to find some sort of armor to upgrade himself, and then also, like, you know, E-tanks and also life-ups to, like, keep him surviving, right? I'm sitting there like, just like, man, it's getting more and more stressful on me to kind of continue, like, going through this and continue the freaking trend of, like, I don't know, like, just kind of just continuing around, just really hating, like, my experience a little bit. And, again, I mainly say that because it's like, man, I gotta remember all these spots. Every time I replay a Mega Man X game that isn't like X1 or something, it's like X2 onwards. I have to remember, okay, the Buster upgrade's here. Okay, this upgrade is there. The E-tank and the life up is there. I have to, like, route my stuff. And this could be like a routing problem because, like, for example, I could just probably, and people might just say, I could just get better at the games and you know, learn how to maybe not need to backtrack so much for the armor pieces, or maybe, like, you don't have to worry about it. And also, keep in mind as well, I also have, like, a memory problem. I'm not saying I'm trying to say I have a memory loss or all that other sort of shit. It's just that, like, my memory when it comes to, like, Mega Man X games, For some reason, this is just a me issue. I'm not going to say it's an everybody issue. It's just a me issue. I cannot remember for my life, and this is probably one of the biggest reasons why I hate going after the armor pieces so much, is I legit cannot remember, like, a lot of these locations unless I look up a video, bro. And I remember every single, even during my Mega Man X playthroughs, like, when I was trying to find certain abilities or certain things, like, for X, like, if it's the armors or E-Tanks or life-ups or all that stuff, I have to look up videos because I don't remember a lot of this shit. And keep in mind, I don't like to replay games a lot either. So it's like, once I'm done with it, I'm done with it for good. You know, I don't want to pick it up again, you know, unless, like, it's a rare instance where I actually decide, hey, I'm going to come in and pick this game up, right? And I would say probably X2 onward is where I started to feel like, okay, the armor is still pretty cool, but it's getting a little ridiculous with some of these spots. And then I think like X3 was like my limit, all right, where I said, okay, I think I'm done collecting the X armors, which is why, like, in like my later Mega Man X gameplay videos, I don't bother going for the Giga armor in like X5 or X6 or whatever the fuck X game, or I don't bother going for like the armors or even the ultimate armors in the later half of the X series, because I'm just tired of like going stage to stage, looking around every single bit, sometimes looking like a jackass to try to find the fucking Buster parts. And then on top of that, I think the X series actually introduces like different types of upgrades. Like, for example, you can find 2 different type of boot upgrades in certain stages. Like, for example, for different types of armors, because there's more than one armor in the Mega Man X games. And I'm like, oh my god, I'm struggling just to fucking figure out where the hell the first set is. Then that's for the later half of the series. I know in the beginning half, like the first 4, I think 5-ish Mega Man X games, like, it's only one armor set for Mega Man X, but, like, still, I'm barely remembering how to do that, okay? Why are you throwing in extra armor sets for X in these later half of the games? I don't fucking like that. I don't like armor collecting, and it's like, it's a drag on my mental, bro. I remember yesterday, I was debating life, right? Like, just in general, I was debating life in terms of, like, you know, Mega Man X. Like, I was like, because, you know, Ronnie has the Mega Man X Legacy Collection, and I was doubting myself. I was like, it was like this whole mental shamble of like, should I do X's story all over again? Should I redo my X4 playthrough with X? Should I fucking do it with Zero? Should I fucking do all this other sort of shit? And I was in such a mental fucking, like, barrier that I put myself in. It felt like I was locked in a mental cage, or, you know, those mental institutions when you're in a straitjacket? That's kind of what it felt like. Like, I was in my own mental straitjacket, okay, with, should I play this as X? Should I play this with Zero? Should I play with X? Knowing that I have to go find the fucking armors that I clearly do not remember the locations to, the life-ups, the E-Tanks, the weapon tank, like, where am I going to find all that shit for X? You know, Zero, I got really lucky with 04, I ain't going to lie, and found them along the way when I played 04 last night. But my point is like X in these Mega Man X games where you have to find the armors, I just do not appreciate, you know. I used to really like the idea when I was playing X1, because that's the only one that I can fucking remember at the top of my head and be like, oh shit, armor pieces go this way, go that way, I know the routes, I know it. And I don't know why, but like all the other games for me, still up to this point, when I play Mega Man X, has not registered in my head, okay, the armor pieces are there, and there, and there, and there, and the E-Tank is there, the Life Up is there. It just feels like mindless busy work in a lot of ways, in my honest opinion. And I know that might be not everyone's hot take. This might be like a Mega Man X hot take for all I fucking know, right? And I love the X games. I love playing X. I love playing Zero and stuff, but I think when I played Zero last night, I'm starting to more prefer, like, playing Zero instead of X, because Zero doesn't have any of these problems. He doesn't have any, like, sort of upgrade problems, at least in the X games anyway. And Mega Man Zero, he doesn't really have this either. And I know, you can just crank rookie mode on like I usually do and just blast through the game. And then people might be asking me that too. Well, Alan, in most of your Mega Man X playthroughs anyway, you have rookie mode on. Why are you even bitching about the armor pieces? Shouldn't it, in rookie mode, be easier to find the armor pieces? No, it doesn't matter what difficulty you have the game on either for like the Legacy Collection if you're playing that version of Mega Man X, which is probably what most people are playing Mega Man X on anyway, over, emulation and all that other sort of stuff. All the fucking armor pieces in Rookie Mode and the normal game are all in the same places and the same spots. Okay? Like, they are in the same spots, so it's like, sure, I could take time to memorize them, but a big part of me is like just every single time I replay, I'm not remembering all that shit, which leads to me having a fucking problem, which leads to me also wanting to tweak the fuck out, because it's like, damn, this shit is so fucking annoying. Like, finding the armor pieces. And don't even get me started with X5's armor pieces, where you have to replay, I think, or Tidal Whale. It was either Tidal Whale or Duff McWhale or something staged like 3, 4, 5 times just so you can get some bits of the armor pieces or some part of the stage to break. And that's exactly my point, right? Is not only the armors get more difficult for me to remember, but they also get more bullshit to obtain, and and it just makes it less and less fun to go for the armors, at least in my case. And people can call me a noob all they want, or people can call me this and that, but this is honestly just how I feel about the Mega Man X armors. And I know that's probably, that is a chunk of the reason why you play a Mega Man X game, is to grab the armors if you're playing X. But like I said, how I like to roll is I like to fucking grab my shit, aka some E-Tanks, have enough health to deal with the boss, know the weakness, kill him, and move the fuck on. That's what I prefer in my Mega Man games. It's just that simple shit, and move on. So I'm not sitting there raging, but, Mega Man X likes to add that armor shit, the life ups, the fucking E-Tank upgrades, the weapon upgrades. And I know classic Mega Man also has this too, like the weapon tank and the energy tanks, but at least with those, you can find those throughout the stage and not feel bad about not having the right armor equipped to deal with the boss, okay? Like, all you need is to figure out the weakness, and then maybe find some E-Tanks and weapon tanks and mystery tanks. That's later, classic series, but you get my goddamn point, and I'm just so sick of that, which is why I think I'm just not going to play Mega Man X as, like, X anymore, or maybe just not even bother playing the games anymore, because it bothers me to that extreme with the armor pieces. And I remember me and Chris, we were getting into a combo about the armor pieces last night, because Ronnie says, he wants to play the Mega Man X games like a little bit more seriously on his page, right? And he was saying, man, if you ain't gonna do the armors, I'll fucking do them. They're not that bad. I'm like, okay, buddy, you experience the armors then. You know what I mean? Don't come talking to me when you experience Mega Man X5's armor pieces and then tell me, it's not that bad, fam, to get the armor pieces. Because I'm telling you, Mega Man X5's armor pieces, and 6, probably 7 too, are like not even worth it to me to go grab. Just play the game with 4th armor and you should be fucking fine for most of the game. But, God, fuck. And I know this kind of turned into like a more of a rant video, but I really want to like, and I didn't get to express this in my Mega Man X My Experience video because it was a video and not a stream, but I wanted to like express this for like the longest time, and you wonder why I'm not replaying the game all the time or just not bothering. That's why I'm not bothering playing the Mega Man X games all that much, outside of maybe like a live stream or two, or something. I don't replay the X games very often, is because I don't want to be reminded that when I play X, I have to go find the armors, I have to go find all this shit to keep X alive, I just want to play through the game, know the weakness, and fucking boom, bob, biggity bock. Be done. And I know, again, the X series is supposed to be like harder classic series Mega Man. I get that, right? That makes sense. That's not my problem. It's my problem is those fucking armors and having to collect them. Again, might be the only Mega Man X fan here that just does not like it all that much, except for maybe X1, okay? But I just wanted to finally say my piece on Mega Man X armor collecting, okay? Just want to say my piece on that. Get it off my brain, get it out of my head, and probably go play some fucking Final Fantasy, like, 15, Ignis story or something, or maybe I will just do, like, X5 for the Zero story of it all and all that other sort of stuff. Maybe I'll just go play Mega Man X4, or not, well, not 4, I mean X5, but Zero side of things. I don't know. But thank you for listening if you decided to listen all the way through. this is just my thoughts on why I hate going for the Mega Man X arm, or Mega Man armor piece hunting for X throughout the entire Mega Man X series. I just that's my video, okay? Just, you know, to end the video better, I should probably just show Mega Man in like the armor. You know, I don't know, just like and also another thing I want to say this. I also love the designs for the armor. Don't get it twisted. It's just going for them in game is a pain in the dick, and I don't approve. Again, it's cool, but not cool, man. I don't like it. It's just I wish Mega Man X was different, man. This is why I might prefer Zero Series, but I don't know.